What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up for so. JBRISKO, not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It's your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, what up y'all? We are back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a woman tell a story about why you should never let your friends move in with you, all right? Taking a look at the comments real quick. People saying roommates can be friends, but friends cannot be roommates. We got people on here saying they auntie charged the family for bills, but didn't charge their friends. And then we got others saying whether it's friends or family, just don't do it. So we're going to go ahead and get straight into this video. I ain't going to hold you no longer. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're going to get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
Guys, if you thinking about letting a friend move in with you, don't. Story time. Y'all already know what time it is. Did y'all miss me or what? I missed you too. Now let's just hop straight into the story, okay? Now just for a little bit of context, I gotta give y'all just a little bit of history about me before getting into the actual reading so it makes sense.
Okay.
So I bought my house when I was 21. I'm now 26. When I bought my house, it was 2020, end of September. At the time, I was dealing with this dude, and of course, I didn't know, but I was in for a hell of a fucking ride. That being said, I know the ins and outs of a very toxic domestic violence type of situation, relationship, right? Very experienced with it. I dated him on and off for about 5 years. Now, at the time, it was just the beginning, so I had no idea what I was in for real. All of that being said, let's get into the story. For the sake of the story, we're going to call her Tiffany. Now, I met Tiffany around 2020. Tiffany is an esthetician. Now, one thing about it, I'm going to support a black business down. And then you a woman too? Yeah. So don't even worry about it. I'm there. On top of that, Tiffany came in clutch. Nobody else was open. At the time, I was going to this chain wax place called, I think it's like Andrea or Wax by Andrea, something like that. So to go from a chain place to an individual person, and then she charging really good prices. Yeah. And she was having my when I first went to her from them, I had like little ingrown hairs, discoloration. And to be completely honest, she got me the together. Smooth, baby bottom, no more discoloration. All of that. I was with Tiffany, period. Kept the punani cute. Now, being that me and her started off as esty besties or whatever, we ended up developing a friendship, you know? Now, Tiffany didn't know me like that, and I didn't know Tiffany like that. But naturally, you know, somebody all in your no square, you're gonna start talking about stuff. I mean, you already in my business. I might as well give you a little bit of insight, you know? So, you know, years go by, and now me and Tiffany have been friends for 5 years. Now, Tiffany was always really confused. She loved me. She loved my vibe. I was always very blunt. You know, she was also one of those type of people that was like a rooter. Like, she was always going to be rooting for you, regardless of what you were doing. Also, when I met Tiffany, I was in my dance bag heavy. I'm not going to call it no midnight ballerina. I was a stripper. Yes. Because I'm tired of y'all sugarcoating it. So one thing Tiffany would notice is that I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't hang around a lot of people. And the friends that I did have, I was very protective of them because at the time, I thought they were my friends. But as the story go, you know, them really wasn't my friends. And Tiffany would start to see that. And obviously, she only had my side of the story to go off of. But I feel like she put two and two together. She liked my vibe. She started to get to know me. So I feel like she started to see certain things, put two and two together, and was like, yeah, you're not tripping, you know? Needless to say, Tiffany was there for a good chunk of friends, you know, exiting out my mother's life. And it was actually an incident with her and a friend of mine. We went to this spa that she invited us to, and everything was really cool, good vibes. My friend at the time, well, it ain't my friend, but she was at the time. She was an Aries. Tiffany is a Cancer. I'm a Virgo. So they kind of butted heads a little bit. And at the time, Tiffany had said something to the friend that I was not with. Because one thing about it, you have certain friends for certain things. And that, I already was feeling like I couldn't tell her my business. So clearly, even though me and the other girl had been friends longer, I trusted Tiffany a lot more. Now, being that that was our first incident, I'm not gonna lie, I just slick cut her ass off. I didn't even tell her that I was irritated with her. Yeah, I was pissed because you got me f***ed up. Just because I tell you something don't mean that you just open your mouth and say something to somebody else. Now, granted, this was her first incident with me. She didn't even know I was mad. She just so happened to call me, y'all, asking about her engagement ring. And I'm like, you called me about a ring? And she's like, oh my God, what's going on? Now, she is older than me, right? By like maybe 7 or 8 years. So when I told her the issue and what had happened and how I felt, it was literally like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She took accountability. You know, I hate that I made you feel that way. I'm calling you about a ring. I don't even know there's anything going on. Okay. And I love that response, right? Because I'm used to trying to try me like I'm tripping. And, you know, to have somebody to take accountability, look in the mirror, apologize, even if she may not have felt like she was wrong in the situation, that was a breath of fresh air to me. So not only did that solidify our friendship and make it a stronger bond, but at that point, I'm like, yeah, okay, me and Tiffany, like, we may actually have something real going on here. After that, me and Tiffany never really had any, you know, words or nothing like that ever happened again, right? Mm-hmm. So boom. I'm fast forwarding. Years have gone by. Now I'm no longer the friend. Okay. Tiffany is now fully aware of who I am as a person. She knows my heart. She knows that I read cards, I'm psychic, and all of these things, right? We've gotten to know each other. Now, going back a little bit, when I met Tiffany, she was living with her boyfriend. At the time, he was not her fiance yet. But I got to know him. I got to know her. And, you know, they started inviting me places. We go to KOD together. I actually just threw away the picture that we had. I had a picture in my house of me and Tiffany at KOD. You know, it was fun vibes. Like, I never had to worry about Tiffany. So, you know, we moved further along. Her then boyfriend asked her to marry him. And we're there for that because there is not enough of that going on. So, of course, I was over the moon for her, period. Everything starts to kind of take a turn, though, right? Now, a lot of things are happening in Tiffany's relationship that I'm not very much privy to, but Tiffany at this point knows that I'm with this guy. Things have been physical. It's a toxic situation. He was around with his baby mama. It was a lot going on. So eventually, you know, Tiffany starts to open up about her and her boyfriend or her fiance at the time. We're just going to call him Rodney. Now, I loved Rodney and Tiffany's relationship because they had been together like 10 plus years. But again, I wasn't privy to everything. So once it starts hitting the fan, they're getting ready to get married. They both go on their own individual bachelor and bachelorette parties. They had been arguing for a while because Rodney told Tiffany he was going to Colombia. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about anything, you know what be going down in Colombia.
Okay? I don't know about all that.
They be giving it out.
Okay.
Don't know what they doing. They're just giving it out. And he was ready to purchase. Now, y'all know how man is. You know, she's basically accusing him like, I know what you going down there for. Oh, and he's telling her, you tripping, this, that, and the third. It even got to the point where he got in her face, headbutts her, calls her a bitch. You know what I mean? Headbutt really going big for somebody who's not going to go out there and do anything nuts, you know? Because if you know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to go do nothing out there, why are you getting so disrespectful? So now I'm privy to the situation. This is like 3 years into our friendship at this point, right? I'm privy to the situation. I don't like Rodney at this point, but I have to play my cards right because until my girl Tiffany leave this nigga, it's not much I can really do. I can't say that I don't like him, create a wedge between me and Tiffany because he's not going to want her to hang out with me. Now, to be completely honest, he's a Leo, so he always was worried about people's opinion and how he showed up to people. He didn't give a about who he truly was. He just didn't want nobody else to know. So boom, he goes to Colombia, comes back. This stupid motherfucker, he has a camera, not his phone, y'all, a camera. Tiffany, long story short, finds a video of him and some Colombian chick, and y'all already know what's going on. This fool done recorded it. Why? So boom, their relationship is starting to get very, very physical. Mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, it's just starting to get crazy. Now, I told Tiffany because she's seen me go through my stuff, right? I got pregnant. I had a miscarriage. There was a lot going on in that relationship with me. So she felt comfortable coming to me, telling me what was going on with her. So I told Tiffany, like, you know, if anything ever happened, because it was starting to get scary. It was starting to get to a point where, you know, I'm trying to pull up on her because I feel like he's getting ready to do something to her. I'm like, you could just come live with me. I don't do that. I don't care if you my cousin, okay? I just don't like people living with me, especially if they're in situations like that, because I know how it is when you're not ready to leave.
So why
you're
you
not gonna put my
offer?
motherfucking life in danger because you want to play, okay? But if y'all want to hear the rest of this story, tap in and come back for part 2.
All right, let's get to part 2.
Stop everything, crazy in trouble. She about ready to beat my ass, so I'm back with that part 2.
All right, let's go.
All right, y'all, we're gonna have to go back a little bit because I skipped certain parts because I thought I was gonna be able to keep everything in part 1, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't do a part 2, so fuck it. We kind of gonna go back a little bit, right? This is like the first year, maybe a year and a half into us being friends / me being her client, Esty Bestie, you know the drill. She asked me to be a brand ambassador for her business, in which I replied yes. I had the following, I had the backing, I had the personality. On top of that, I was doing music videos, club postings. I was just really in my bag, so why not? And of course, it was not abnormal for people to ask me to be the brand ambassador because of everything that I already talked about. This was just a little bit different. She didn't give me any contract. We was just basically going off face card and the fact that we were building this new relationship. And on top of that, I was always posting her prior to, because that's just what I do. If you give me a good experience, I'm going to give you a review and I'm going to be honest about it. You know what I mean? So it was nothing. Now, her proposition was, again, a little different from the real brand ambassador gigs that I was getting, because usually, especially around that time, I was doing a lot of wig things, so people would send me free products to promote. Hers was a little different, right? She wanted me to promote her business, and she would give me mostly like a discounted, prorated type of service, or the amount that I would be paying. So she would charge me $50 and I would basically be doing her brand ambassador stuff. Now, again, there was no contract in place. But me being a real bitch, I'm going to do what the fuck I'm supposed to do regardless. You don't have to tell me. Now, she also started doing creative stuff. Now, this is kind of fast forwarding, right? She started doing creative stuff with her business. She's making rap songs. She made a song out of one of Glorilla's songs, basically promoting her business. I couldn't be there for the music video, but I was there for her to record. And my voice is even in the song on the call, like, hey Tiffany, I need a wax right now, book me. You know what I mean? Like, really doing my shit. Mind you, I never asked her to be her brand ambassador. I never asked her for free shit. I never asked her for any discounts. I never asked her for shit. Okay? Notable mention, when I went to her prices were already in that $50, $60 range. So it's not even to say that she was giving me a true discount. It's more so like when she did up her prices, my price point stayed the same.
It was like Godfather.
So keep that in mind. Now we're going to fast forward. When Tiffany originally moved in my house, I'm very thorough. Bitch, I had a whole contract, a whole contract, bitch, about my house and about living in my house, which obviously consisted of, you know, rent, when rent was due, how late it could be, if it was going to be late, the time frame. I even gave her until September. So technically, she would have been in my house from late February, March into September if she would have stayed that long. Now, I didn't have a lot of rules, but one thing about it, me being a psychic, me being extremely empathic, and just me being private, people can't come to my motherfucking house. I don't even really have company at my motherfucking house. I have to know you. We have to have that bond. You know what I mean? And that's not too much of an ask, right? But the more we go along with stuff, I'm starting to peep certain things that, okay, I need to also tell her I don't like this. Now, don't get me wrong. Tiffany, I would get off work. She done cooked, cleaned up. You know, she was actually a really good guest. Outside of just little things that I'm about to get into, right? So it was like, okay, this is really fun. You know, I get off work, we can talk, we can chop it up. It seemed like, you know, and I don't have no sisters. I was starting to enjoy it. Now, it was certain things that I would start to notice. Like, when I wake up in the morning, I don't want to smell weed. It don't make me feel good. It actually makes me feel nauseous. And honestly, as a girl,
I don't want to smell it.
Why the fuck are you smoking at 8 o'clock in the motherfucking morning? That's a boy thing. That's what niggas do. And any nigga in my house or any man around me, period, that's not even gonna fly, period. So it was like one of those things where I wouldn't know that it would bother me until it happened. So obviously I'm not going to put that in the rental
contract.
agreement. But I did shoot her a little text like, hey.
Well, look, I'm going to tell you this straight up. I don't really care for the smell of weed. I probably can count on one hand, and I smelled some weed and was like, oh, that actually smelled good. You know, not that I can wake up to it, not that I want to smell it in my house, but it's just sometimes a whiff of weed to come by and it's just instant headache and I have an instant attitude. It's just like, ugh, it's like, ick, ugh, you know, whatever. And then there's been other times, you know, where it's been a whiff and I'm like, okay, somebody got something good today. Now, I don't know the difference of the strands and all that. I don't get into it. I don't smoke. Okay. Smoking is not my thing. Y'all know I like a little edible or whatever. But that's not something that I feel like has to happen to me for me to know, oh, I don't really like that. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. That wasn't something that came across her mind was, how will I feel waking up to the smell of smoke? Because obviously she know the girl smokes. Me personally, if you smoke, you can't stay with me. And I don't care if it's temporary. I don't care if you're on vacation. I don't care if you came to the state I'm in to visit me. If you smoke, you cannot stay with me. I don't do the cigarette. I don't do the blunt. I just don't do it. Okay. If you have a vape, you know, those are typically minty or fruity. I'm cool with that. You can blow that smoke. You know, it doesn't have a smelly smell, if that makes sense, a smelly smell. So off the rip, if you need somewhere to stay and you smoke cigarettes, Black & Milds, blunts, you might as well go on and find you somewhere else to stay, because I know you're going to have to cater to your habit. You know what I'm saying? And you're not finna smoke outside my house either. You're not finna smoke outside my house. You're not finna smoke in my house. That's just not happening. It's just not going down. So that would be number one on my contract. No smoking at all. If you have a hookah or a vape, we probably can talk. A little e-pen, we probably can talk. But I know them pens, you could put weed in them pens too, or the weed oil. Like, none of that with that strong scent stuff. If it's fruity or minty, we can do something. If it's smelling like a cigarette or it's smelling like dro, no, you got to go.
I don't like the smell of weed in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to work type thing. But I don't want to smell like weed. And it was nothing. Like, she apologized, basically said that, you know, she picked up that habit from her ex, this, that, and the third, the fiance. And so it was like, okay, you know, I get it. You're unlearning the toxic. And then one day I roll me up like a little spliff and I do this thing where I'll hit it. And then, you know, in the morning, leave it there for when I get off work.
It was gone.
Know for a fact.
It was gone.
It was probably about maybe like this big, okay? But to my, you know, 420 people, you get off work, you looking forward to that. Period. I strategically put it in a space in my room right by my TV. So it's not like I was hiding it, because at this point I wasn't closing my doors. I wasn't locking my doors, because at the end of the day, it's just us two in this bitch. So if anything go missing,
it's you.
I know I ain't do it. You know what I mean? I get off work, I come home, and it's not there. And I'm looking for this shit, because before I ask somebody or even accuse somebody of doing something, I'm very thorough. I'm a thorough ass bitch. I'm going to look for that shit. I'm going to make sure I'm not tripping. I'm going to even evaluate, did I smoke the whole thing? But I know I'm not tripping. So I shoot her a text like, hey, did you so happen to smoke my clip? She hits me back like, no, what's going on? And I'm like, I can't find it. So boom, she ends up calling me like maybe 5 minutes later. Like, hey, what's the problem? What's going on? I'm like, I left a clip here. It's not here. I'm just trying to see if you smoked it. If you did, just let me know. Because if so, please don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do it, replace it. You know what I'm saying? And so she assured me that she didn't do it. I have no proof. I know what the fuck I know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Just gonna roll up another blunt. Now, this is kind of...
So what do y'all do in that situation? So you have a friend that typically takes accountability. She apologizes when she does something wrong. She has no problem, you know, righting her wrongs or whatever the case may be. And then you have this specific instance where you know something has happened. You've done something a certain way. You put something in a certain place and it's not there, or things are not adding up, and you go to ask them about it and they say, oh, no. You've had this experience with this person in the past where they were like, I made you feel that type of way, or I did that to you, or I'm sorry, and they're very vocal. You know, they don't mind saying I'm sorry, don't mind saying I was wrong. You know, don't mind accepting accountability. Simple as that. But then this instance come up, and this is a like kind of a semi-minor situation. You know, it's something that can be replaced because the girl smokes too. So it's not like she ain't gonna know where to get some more from or something like that. So this is like a little minor. It could be major to certain people, but in my opinion, it's not extreme. You know what I'm saying? Yes, touching people's stuff, taking people's stuff, or stealing, it is a serious matter. But with this little bitty, you know, like she said, she want to take a little hit when she get off work. I'm pretty sure the other girl got some in a room somewhere. So it wouldn't be a big deal to say, you know what, I'm sorry. I didn't think I was crossing a boundary. I actually got some though. Roll you up another one. Or when I get off, I got you. Or, you know, whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Like, it's serious for you to take somebody's stuff and use it or however it go when it's somebody's personal belongings. But this isn't like a super big deal. Because like she said, if you gonna use it, just replace it. She wasn't saying if you gonna use it or if you gonna, you know, hit my shit, you gotta get out. She's just saying replace it. Just as simple as that. Y'all ever had somebody like that and y'all didn't really know what to do or didn't know how to handle that situation? They always accept accountability. They're always honest. They always apologetic. But this one time something has happened and they're like, oh no, it wasn't me. What y'all do? What y'all gonna do? Y'all think that man been over her house while she been at work? And that man probably like, she's probably being honest. The friend is probably being honest like, oh, I didn't. But you think her man been over there?
Confirmed my suspicions that she actually did smoke it. Later on that night when she finally got back home, she was like, oh, I'm gonna call the weed man, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna get you like a little 3, 5, or a 7. And I was like, okay, you know, but I'm thinking like she's gonna get some weed for herself and then roll up and we just gonna hit it. No, when she got the weed, she gave it to me and I was like, oh, okay. Like, you know, she was like, no, that's yours. That's yours. I was like, well, how much is it? She was like, you don't got to worry about that. So I was like, okay. But you know what you know. So I'm thinking like, okay.
You're trying to make up for it, but just be honest about it.
Bygones be bygones. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
It is what it is. Also, keep in mind, when she moved into my house, I had literally just made my TikTok. Y'all, my TikTok is not even a year old yet. It'll be a year old in March. And when I made my TikTok, I was talking all about, you know, women and how we should be utilizing these men in the best way that we can, especially if you look good, you got everything going for yourself. Don't let these men take care of you. You don't take care of a man. And I'm basically giving women advice about how to get theirs and not waste their time. Now, I'm not sure if some of the things that I was saying was hitting her or making her feel some type of way, but
Probably
definitely that was not the intention because, again, I was in a relationship where I allowed a man to take me off focus and he wasn't doing shit from doo-doo to help me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those empowering things, stripper mindset, you know, type thing like that. And also being independent and taking care of myself. I'm giving this advice to anybody who's gonna catch it. Now, I also started noticing like her being sneaky or lying. I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all is, but you can't really have a lot of privacy when you live with somebody, no matter how much you try to keep things secret, you know? And also, I truly don't give a fuck. But when it come down to my house, my space, my sanctuary, I'm always gonna give a fuck. So one day she told me that this dude was gonna get her a rental or give her one of his cars. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I just so happened to be kind of coming in and out the house when she pulls up. Why this bitch park all the way down the street? Not too far, but not in the spot right in front of my house where she could have parked. And I'm just so happen to come outside and I see the car and I'm like, I thought you said you was getting a rental. She was like, oh, you know, Rodney, he's out of town. And Rodney did buy her the car. And Rodney is the type of nigga, if I feed you, I'm going to starve you. So everything he ever bought her, phone, car, anything, that was his until she was his again. So I'm like, I thought you was gonna get another car. Oh, he's out of town. My mom talked to him and I was able to get the car. Bitch, that's a red flag. Because let me tell you something about my motherfucking safety. It's not even about you or me wanting to know your motherfucking business. I have to do it part 3. Oh my God. Comment for part 3.
Come on, part 3.
I hope y'all know when y'all do shit like this, it's not gonna make me move no faster. Because bitch, today is the 12th. So now what? And truth be told, shit, if I didn't, you wouldn't have got it today. So count your lucky star. And with that being said, we back with that part 3. Now, like I said, what Tiffany said was a red flag to me because in my mind, the situation is still too fresh. And I don't want you to slip up and tell him where you've been living. And that was really my main concern because other than that, I can't do nothing in your life for you other than be your friend. Right. So I'm not going to judge you off of that. But it's more like, don't put my home and my life in jeopardy because some people are crazy. And I'm not gonna be the one. So pretty much after that, like, my antennas were definitely raised, because hell no. Like, y'all, I have so many stories and so many things that I still have not told y'all yet, which are on the way. But like, I don't play about people at my house. I don't play about people knowing where I stay. Like, that is crucial to me, period. So a little bit of time goes by, and eventually Tiffany does move out. And this didn't come as a surprise, because she did kind of put it out there in the beginning that she may not stay the entire 6 months, just in enough time for her to kind of like figure out a plan. So I was kind of like, okay. But it just also was like one of those situations like, well, let me check in to make sure that we good too, because I don't want to have no residue or nothing left unsaid. So I did also put it out there too when she told me she was leaving, like, you know, you don't have to technically leave until September. Are you sure? If you want to come back and, you know, continue at the least you can. So it was still open and available if she did want to come back. So I did ask her to make sure, like, you know, you don't feel any type of way about anything that I said or how I say certain stuff, like, especially with the whole weed thing. And, you know, she was like, no, like, she was like, you're just blunt. Like, that's who you are. That's how you talk. Like, it's not like, I'm not taking nothing personal. So it was like, okay, it was a relief. I felt like I did my due diligence. I did my part. Like, I was very, very active when it came down to communicating and being clear and making sure that we're on the same page. So at this point, you know, her birthday's getting ready to come up. I'm still getting my services and stuff done by her. She had her living situation kind of situated. And so it was like, okay, everything kind of was like, it didn't miss a beat, back to normal. She wasn't a terrible house guest. Like, I'm gonna reiterate the fact that it wasn't the fact of her living in my house, but it was the fact of her living in my house, if that makes sense. I feel like it boomeranged and ricocheted in the most terrible fucking way. So once you say you good, and I asked you a few times, I'm good. If you got a problem with me, it's your responsibility to address me about it. I'm not going to be running behind you trying to figure out, hey, are you okay? No, I did my due diligence. You said you was good, and that's it. So boom, y'all. A few weeks go by. Her birthday is coming up. She invites me to her birthday celebration. She had like a rooftop situation and a dinner. Now, I was late to the dinner because of a friend of mine who was coming with me, and she was late. So I did go ahead and let her know, hey, I'm going to be a little late. She was cool with it. Now, the energy definitely feels off, and I read cards. I'm psychic. So not only did I already do a reading about this shit, I've already had dreams about some of the things that was going on. So I get to the birthday party, like everybody's talking, but they were actually all going around the table to say, you know, how they love her, appreciate her, the friendships and stuff like that. So when I get there, some of the friends that know me was like really excited to see me, which, you know, that's how they are. When I see them, I be excited to see them too. So they like, oh, Bree, you know, be quiet, but they like, Bree, you know, so I'm going around hugging everybody. But it's two of her friends in particular that act like they got a motherfucking problem. And like I said, bitch, I'm grown. If y'all hoes got a fucking problem, that's y'all problem. Because I'm not going to dim my light or shut shit down.
You should.
Because my energy is just enough, clearly. Right. So boom, it finally gets to me. I tell her how much I love her, I appreciate her, and just, you know, speaking life into her birthday. And then that's kind of it. You know, we get into the event. We start moving around, we eat, and we're just talking. So now it comes up at the end of the night. And me and her are talking, and my friend and one of her friends are talking. And she says something along the lines of, you know, you don't like bitches. I said, no, bitches don't like me. Bitch, don't be funny. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about before it got to that point, but she like, you know, you got to know everything. I said, no, I don't have to know everything, just anything that has to do with me and my space.
Right.
So it's like you saying a little funny shit, I'm catching it and I'm throwing that shit back to you, but I know how to be nasty nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to address the issue, we just gonna keep playing hee hee ha ha's until somebody grows some balls. Because like I said, I'm not the one with the motherfucking issue. You know what I'm saying? So right after her birthday party, maybe like a week later, an appointment coming up with her. I go to the appointment. Everything is cool. The energy is really off when I get there. It's just kind of like we're forcing conversations. We're not talking like we would usually do. My discernment is up. And I'm already getting these intuitive down because at this point in time, I don't really necessarily have a good feeling about her. Like the energy just feels completely off. So she kind of gets into, well, how did you enjoy the birthday party? I enjoyed the birthday party. I loved it. Then she tells me that one of her friends was telling her other friend what happened between us. And I was like, well, what happened? Yeah. Long story short, her friend was mad because she came to the strip club and In all honesty, I apologized to the girl. I couldn't get to her. This was back when I was in my dancing bag. So I was dancing with a nigga who had like $5,000 blowing that shit. I was not going to just walk away from this man. And it's another girl dancing in my bag that I don't know. No. Respectfully, I just couldn't get to her. And I guess she felt some type of way about that. To me, it's not that serious. If you want to see me shake some ass, girl, just tell me. So we kind of have a conversation about that. And I'm like, well, what's the situation? Because she's making it seem like it's like a huge deal. And I'm like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, even with Tiffany, I'm like, Tiffany, this is like, I didn't even know she was still pressed about this. Like, but okay, you know. And I feel like she was just trying to, you know, kind of pick my brain and, you know, check my temperature about it. But I really didn't give a fuck. Truth be told, baby, I forgot. So before the end of the service, I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck if we was beefing, and now I'm talking to Tiffany. I would still come to you and get my waxes done. And to me, that was me displaying my loyalty. Like, your services are so good that I don't give a fuck what we got going on in personal. I'm still going to come and support the business. Now, somewhere in Tiffany deluded ass mind, she took that as, I don't know what the fuck she took it as, because I don't see how you could read into that any more than she just saying how much she fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But she took it as a jab. So a month go by, y'all, and this is when the shit starts to pop off. I hit her up, and I said, hey, do you have anything available this week for me to come and get a wax? Now, that was like the day before. She didn't text me back all that day, and I assume she just busy, right? So the next day comes along, and she hits me with this long paragraph, y'all, saying that, one, I made a comment at my last service that didn't really sit well with her, and she's just trying to figure out where that's coming from, blah, blah, blah. Then she also turns around and says, and then I'm going to be upping your service prices at this point because you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a brand ambassador.
What?
Hold up, bitch. First of all, it's the crack of ass. I roll over and I see this is the first thing I see on my screen in the morning. And, bitch, you're mixing business with personal. So let me tell you something, Miss Businesswoman. Where the fuck is my contract? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we get into this full-blown back and forth situation because honestly, I feel like she's coming at me crazy and I don't know where the energy is coming from. So I'm trying to figure out, well, one, what did I say that was that bad to the point where you feel some type of way? And two, what the fuck have you given me to post? I'm confused. And it's not even about the money because the money ain't never no issue. But you're not gonna motherfucking play with me and try me and up my services without a valid reason and point, in which you did not have. So we go back and forth via text for a minute. I call my friend Emma because I'm like, this bitch got me fucked up. I put Emma on three-way. I call Tiffany because we got to see what is the problem. I tell Emma, keep yourself on mute. Y'all, Tiffany lost her. If you think about letting your friend move in with you, don't. Okay, this is going to be part 4. We are so back. Your girl is a boss, okay? So I've been very busy. I've been planning events. It's been a lot going on for me. Y'all keep asking, where's part 4? Where's part 4? It's in my ass. Come get it out. All right, but first, before we get into the rest of the story and the end of the story, y'all go block and report this page, okay? This person is acting like they're me, DMing y'all. Do not get scammed. I would never DM you for any reason at all. And even when it comes down to my story time submissions, it's a process and how that is handled. Okay, block, delete, report. Now, back to the story. Tiffany done lost her everlasting motherfucking mind, y'all. But it's okay because I'm finna help her find it, okay? And so like I told y'all, we already have been going back and forth basically the whole morning because I'm trying to figure out who the fuck do you think you're talking to and why, if this is a business issue, why are you mixing business and personal? She starts to tell me that now my services are going to be 150 plus. She lets me know that she did receive my message. She doesn't know when my service is supposed to be, which is also a weird thing because we always do book for the next 3 weeks. So I think the 3 weeks before that we did not book. So even the response was just kind of off because it's like, okay, like usually she would say, this is what I have available. She proceeds to go in and say, and you also made a comment at your last service saying that you don't care if we're beefing, that you're still going to come to me. And I don't care if you're joking or not. I don't know why you would think I would let somebody who I'm beefing with, in all quotes, come to my shop. She then proceeds to tell me, y'all, I came off like I was using her. Excuse me, bitch. I'm sorry. Pardon me. You got the game fucked up, twisted, all that. How in the fuck somebody that's living under my roof, that I gave shelter, that I gave a safe space, how the fuck I'm using you? Now I know you're delusional, and I also know that you're projecting big time. Because there's something that you're not saying here. Now, again, in my mind, the way that me and Tiffany's relationship was, I'm always very blunt. And that was my way of letting her know, like, I don't give a fuck what's going on. I'm always going to come to you. That's boosting your services. That's me letting you know that you good at what you do. Period, point blank. And I can never take that away from you. The fact that she took it as that lets me know that you went and consulted with somebody and they put a battery in your back, bitch. And now you've lost out on a real friend because of whatever delusions that was in your mind, partner with whoever you talked to. And thank them, because I'm sure.
How would y'all take that though? Like, I kind of get where the girl coming from to a certain extent, because it's like, why would you think that somebody I'm beefing with will have the opportunity to sit in my chair and pretty much get services done, even if they were done for promo or whatever the case may be? Like, the fact that you said that we're beefing, like, I obviously don't think that we're beefing, and you said even if we beefing, I'ma still come here, is, I kind of get where she coming from. Just a tad bit. What about you? Like, was that a slick comment? Is that something that'll stay on your mind? If you a heavy thinker or overthinker, is that something that you will be thinking about time after time after time after this woman get out your chair? Like, did she say we beefing? And did she say she was still gonna come even though we're beefing? And you got to think about it from her standpoint too, because she's not doing the services for free. She's doing it for like promo. They don't got no contract or whatever, but it's supposed to be doing the services for promo. So our storyteller, her TikTok name is Spice. So Spice is supposed to be bringing in clientele, right? But we don't know what that looks like. We don't know if she really is a heavy hitter, if she got a whole lot of people booking and actually bringing a woman business, or if it's kind of like, yeah, I'm doing promo, but you don't push no weight. So essentially I am doing something for free because the purpose of promo is to bring people in. Now, of course, your first or maybe second time doing it, trying to get promo out there, you probably won't see many new clients. But baby, I've been waxing and waxing and waxing on and waxing off, and you ain't bring me nobody. Like, I've done so many waxes and you don't hold no weight. We don't know how many people she was bringing in. But how y'all feel about that statement though? Even if we beefing, I still come get a wax. I get the compliment part that Spice was trying to give off. Like, look, you do so good. I don't care if I hate your guts. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I feel like can be said as a compliment on good terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, friend, you did that. Like, I don't care if we ever even fall out. I'm still sitting in this chair because, you know, you did that, friend. Like, you know, if we on good terms. But we a little rocky. We been going through a little messy you know, whatever. I don't know if that would be a good compliment. I don't know if it's the right timing for that type of compliment. Y'all let me know, though. Let me know.
That you talk shit about them too. But they done moved you away from somebody that really actually genuinely was your friend. This is my response to what she said. First of all, you took 3 weeks to have to internalize a comment that I made and then bring it up now when I'm trying to book my next appointment, which again lets me know that you have been stewing over something. You have a problem with me, and I'm a grown ass woman. And on top of that, you're older than me. So if you have a problem, you can come to me and discuss it. But it never gave that my friends could disrespect me, bitch. And it never gave that I could disrespect my friends. If you were real, you would have addressed that situation right then and there. You wouldn't have had to go and consult with somebody. You wouldn't have had to go and think about what I meant. And if you were really my friend, because I thought that I was your friend and I thought you was my friend, you wouldn't even have internalized that the way that you did unless you already felt some type of way.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, if you already feeling some type of way about the person, y'all already a little rocky, you already looking at them sideways, and they say a statement like that, it's like, huh? But I can see how the compliment can really be a good compliment if y'all on good terms. Y'all sitting around, y'all sipping, y'all drinking, y'all just talking. He's like, girl, this wax be lasting me so long. Whoop, whoop, whoop. If we beefing, I'm still gonna come to you. Like, you know, it's a little kiki moment. You wouldn't overthink that, or I wouldn't, at least, and I'm an overthinker. I wouldn't overthink that statement or that compliment. But if I'm looking at you sideways already, and then you say something about beefing, it's like, who beefing? You know, I'm already on edge because I'm already feeling some other type of way.
Still trying to figure out what point was I using you? Over a $50 service? Because if I could, I do my own hair. I do my own makeup. I have my own home. I've had my own home since I was 21. I've had my own everything. If I could bend down and wax my own coochie, I would do that too. So at what point was I using you, or were you using me? Let me not get ahead of myself. She proceeds to tell me, sorry, I'm not you. I let it sit for a while before I talk to somebody that I care about. Yeah, exactly, bitch. You're not me. If you were me, you would have addressed it. Because I'm a real bitch. And we both know that. Furthermore, again, I allowed you to stay in my space. I allowed you to play in my face. While all this is going on, I'm just waiting on you to come to me and tell me what your problem is. We all know that I'm a reader. We all know that I'm intuitive. I'm a seer. I get dreams. So I'm already knowing what's going on. I don't like it. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. And I'm waiting for you to show yourself. And you did. I let her know that trying to make it seem like I'm using her was a bad move. I voice message and say, look, Tiffany, if you really was my friend like I thought you was my friend, you would have came to me, we would have had a conversation, and we could have handled this in a very grown and adult way. But when you want to act like a child, I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring receipts, facts, and I'm going to make you look stupid in the process. Because why would you do this? So boom, at this point, now I'm ready to get her on the phone. I call my friend Emma because, again, I need a witness in all of this. Put yourself on mute. Let's call Tiffany. Kid you not, y'all. As soon as I get Tiffany on the phone, I said, so Tiffany, what is the problem? Oh, bitch, yeah. Hold on now. I don't know where y'all from, but I'm from the east side of Atlanta. So I don't even play like that. Especially if we're friends and we're in the middle of a conflict and you call me a bitch, that's fighting words. Where I grew up, that's disrespectful. We're going to fight. And so at this point, you talking to me like a bitch on the street, I'm finna give it to you. I already gave you grace. I already let a lot of shit slide. I let the comments that you have been making slide. I let the energy you've been throwing at me constantly slide. I'm not letting this shit slide. So I said, bitch, you really fake as fuck. You talk about all the friends you hang around. You don't like them and they don't like you, with the exception of maybe 2, okay? And then you a fake ass bitch. You talk about all the people you hang around. You had to come and live with me. I didn't see any of your other friends allowing you to pack up and shack up and move in with them. Or maybe it's the fact that you didn't feel comfortable enough to ask them, and I wonder why that is. But you felt comfortable enough to ask me, and I allowed you to, and I was actually happy with you being here. But obviously, it's a disconnect. Because if you felt comfortable enough to come and live in my shit, and then turn around and disrespect me as soon as you move out, instead of addressing whatever the fuck problem you had, then, again, there's a problem here that I'm unaware of that you need to address, because you're a 33-year-old woman, and I would expect more from you. I would expect more decorum from a woman of your stature and your maturity, supposedly. Then at this point, all bets are off, because now she's like, oh no, you could have just let me be wrong. You're wrong. Why would you say that? Okay, so bitch, you knew you was dead ass wrong and you still went for it because you thought that you was going to be able to get away with it because an old friends who I allowed to let slide. See, that was your mistake. Your mistake was thinking that you were the exception to the rule, and also thinking that I was the same bitch who I was when I met you. At this point, I'm like, you know what, Tiffany? Pull up. She tells me she's at Stone Mountain. She going to pull up. Cool. Now Emma is like, okay, I'm on the way. I'm like, okay, cool. Because honestly, I do like a mediator, but you gonna stay in the house and me and her gonna go outside, because bitch, you can't even come past this threshold. Y'all know how I am about energy, being a spiritualist. She pulls up. I told you I don't have no wig on. I go out there with my bonnet on. I go out there looking like, yeah, I'm about to fight you, because I don't know how this gonna go. You talking to me like a random hoe on the street. It could go either way out here. Either we could talk like adults or we can get in the field for real. She's like, why you come out here like you want to fight? I'm like, it can go either way. I'm not fighting you, like basically acting like she bigger than that. I'm not. Because once you put me in a position where I feel like I'm being disrespected or my back is up against the wall, then anything can happen. So we get to talking. She tells me about the comment that I made. Then she tells me I'm not posting enough for the content and the business. By the end of the conversation, she's crying at this point because I got her looking stupid. I said, okay, well, hold on. Where was my contract at, Miss Businesswoman? Because any business that I do, it's contracts involved. I made you sign a lease to move into my home. Where's my brand ambassador contract? Where does it say that in the fine print? And let's not forget and act like I had not been supporting you. Anything that Tiffany did, whether it was rapping to create, content for her waxing. I wasn't at the music video, but I was at the motherfucking studio when you put that shit together. Period, point blank. I posted everything, especially in the beginning. You can't post new content when you don't got new shit going on. constantly telling me how she gonna give me this stuff, she gonna give me that stuff, don't ever give it to me. By the end of it, I said, so how am I using you? She starts crying, I'm just going through so much, I've had a hard time. Oh yeah, bitch, so play with your mama, hold on, play with me. Because you just lost a real friend because you projected your negativity, your insecurities, and whatever else you had going on onto me when you could have just talked to me and never gave you could disrespect me, bitch. So have a nice life. Then she gonna ask me, you wanna smoke? Bitch, no. No, like for real, y'all. Like this girl was like, I already had a blunt roll, like basically insinuating that we was just gonna be cool by the end of this. I said no, and you can't come in my house. I can't come in your house? No. Then she's like, well, we could just smoke in the car. No, we're not doing any of that. I said, okay, Tiffany, I'll see you later. This girl gonna say when?
Oh, she really wanted to be
If you
friends.
think about letting your friend move in with you, don't. Okay, this gonna be part.
All right, y'all. So what y'all think about it? I know y'all probably was like, wait, what? On part 4, I jumped, outfit change, scenery change, angles change, everything changed because this video was recorded. I want to say, this video, the beginning of this video was recorded a little over a month ago. It was recorded a little over a month ago. And I kept checking back. She never uploaded the last part. And when I started recording, I thought it was only a 3-part series because it had been so long. Sometimes I do like to wait a couple months, let a video get a little, we might get a little update, or at least we know the video is wrapped up. Baby, it was a couple months late. And I'm like, it gotta be finished. I get to part 3. She like, come back for part 4. And I kept checking back for a couple weeks and I totally forgot about it. Looked up and I was like, let me check and see if she finally uploaded that part. And she did a couple weeks back. She uploaded the last part. So I said, let me go ahead. I saved the beginning of the video, saved the file. You know what I'm saying? Now I came and gave y'all the last bit of the reaction. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this one down below. I told y'all gotta be picky of who y'all let live with y'all, whether that's friends, family. You have to be picky. People always say, oh, if your family don't let you stay with them or your friend let you stay with them, they ain't your real friend, they ain't your real family, and they don't love you and they this and they that. Look, this is your spot, okay? You can't let a whole lot of energy into your space. And as cool as y'all may be out there, as cool as y'all may be at work, at the family reunion, it's not the same thing living with somebody and hanging out and partying with somebody. That could be 2 different people. You don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all drop down below y'all experiences with letting somebody live with y'all. I want to get in y'all business just a little bit. That's all I got for today. Look, if you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Burn it up, was up. Yeah, BRISKO, not know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.